Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Spurs wrapped up Summer League play in the California Classic at 1-2 as they got their first win, being the Chinese national team, 89-67. Fourth overall pick, Stephon Castle led the way, 18 points, 6 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals. Second round pick, Harrison Ingram, was second on the team with 16 points and 10 boards. Up next for them, they head to Vegas for Vegas Summer League play, which starts Saturday.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, whether that is on the radio at 94.1 FM. You're listening online via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com, or if you're watching via our YouTube stream, all of our shows are streamed live at SA Sports Star on YouTube. You can like, subscribe, comment along with the shows. Everybody, what's going on? Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure. And I led off with the Summer League story of the Spurs getting their first win, finally not getting blown out in a game. And what was nice to see is 2 consecutive games of Stephon Castle looking very, very, very promising against other rookies and guys that may or may not be in the league at some point. So it's going to really ramp things up when they get into Las Vegas and see more from Stephon Castle when he gets there, because I don't know if, like Wemby, they're going to shut him down after a couple of games, or if he's going to get more work, because he's not going to be as quote-unquote vital to the success was Victor Wembanyama in terms of just ticket sales, hype, everything that came along with Victor Wembanyama. Although watching him play was very promising in terms of him running the show, distributing. Looks like he's got a shot that people were questioning as he was coming out of the draft, and just doing all the right little things, the defense, the hustle points, the way he plays the game is very refreshing, and I think will fit him well with this team. And watching him and Victor Wembanyama possibly grow together is going to be fun over the next few years. I think I liked Stephon Castle probably as much as any prospect in this draft. He was probably my number one prospect in this draft of all the ones coming out. Them getting him at 4 made things more exciting, because you get to follow him on a closer level and hope that your thoughts of what he could be pan out. But as he develops throughout the season, the intensity is always going to be there. And that's something that you don't need to have like a shot fall every night. Intensity is something you bring on your own. And he's going to have that in bunches. So even if the shot's off one night, he's going to make up for it in other ways on the court, much like a Manu Ginobili did back in the day. His effort was never questioned on the court. And I think you can say the same thing about a Stephon Castle. Harrison Ingram also looked really good in that game, and nice little double-double for him. Now, against the competition, you'd like to see this carry over, but you mix in these young guys with the veterans that they brought in the other day, like CP3 and Harrison Barnes. And there was a lot of talk about how these veterans, these older veterans, because they're not younger veterans, how they're going to fit in and help this team in the future. And I think this team has a lot that it can get better with. And part of it is just knowing how to be pros. These guys, there were some games they just got their butts whooped. From the opening tip, the Phoenix game I was at, it was never even close. I don't think we'll see as much of that. And that's going to be a step in a positive direction for this team. And I think CP3 and Brandon Harrison Barnes are going to bring more just defensively. We're not going to see the defensive lapses we saw night in, night out when they were going through their bad stretches. Those guys are pros and they know where to be on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. And I think that's going to also help to make things easier for Victor Wembanyama, who's not going to be asked to beat their everything on defense in terms of getting a stop. And you've got a 10-time NBA defensive player in Chris Paul. You've got another really good wing defender in Harrison Barnes that can help adjust this team into more of a competitive ball club night in and night out. And just being competitive, you stumble into more wins. So are they a top of the Western Conference team? No. Could they surprise and win a lot more games than we know just from having that veteran leadership? Potentially. Could they also just be a 30 to 35 win team, miss out on everything, but they are a markedly better team? It's just the West is that much better. Also, yes, like these things can all be true at the same time. And a lot's being made about the veteran leadership that a CP3 will provide or not provide. And CP3, while he mentions he is here for the opportunity to play, he's not going to shy away from a leadership role.
I mean, I think I've always taken that responsibility very seriously, but also understanding that I come to hoop. I'm not a coach. I mean, so learn and all that stuff. But I come in obviously with a lot of knowledge from on-the-job training, but I also come in trying to learn from these guys. That's probably been the coolest thing about my career is that, yeah, I've went to some teams that are younger or whatnot, but I'm constantly learning from these guys. I got a chance to play with Shea in his second year in the league, and I got a chance to learn from him. I got a chance to learn from Book, Mikal Bridges, and all those guys. So I'm excited to share with these guys what I know or whatever they want to know, but I'm also excited to see what I can learn from them.
Chris Paul yesterday at his press conference here at The Rock, and it's going to be refreshing to have someone that these younger players can actually look to that have been through battles in the NBA, that have been through a grind, a potential playoff chase when you get to later in the season, and be able to take things from them. And Stephon Castle just seems like the guy that is going to try and soak up as much as he can from Chris Paul for as long as he can. Jeff McClanahan on our YouTube live feed says, if Castle gives Manu hustle, he'll be a favorite of mine. Chris O says that the Spurs have another rookie of the year for back-to-back seasons? It's possible. I don't know if he's going to get the amount of minutes that some other rookies will that may lend them to being better stat line for rookie of the year honors because of the way this team is now shaped. You've got Stephon Castle basically as a 6th, 7th, 8th guy off the bench. He's going to be in that second unit somewhere. So where do his minutes fall in line with other guys? And as it always boils down with CP3, injuries. how much time does he end up missing throughout the year? Because that's been a knock on him throughout the entirety of his career. For the most part, he's dealt with injuries every single year. And Harrison Barnes also talked about injuries, and he's a man that's played in 82 games the past couple of years. You don't see that a lot in the NBA anymore, and he credits his taking care of his body and stuff like that. But he also knows health is just a very important component when it comes to winning.
Yeah, it's always tough. Health is the biggest factor in that, right? You can have all the right pieces, you can be playing the right way, but unfortunately, I think, in this league, the healthiest teams win and win championships. So I think for us, it's a matter of doing all the right things, putting ourselves in the right position possible, and just, praying for the best health-wise that we can, put this group together.
And like I said, we've talked a lot about the veteran leadership that this team's going to provide, and Harrison Barnes talked about embracing his mentor role.
Yeah, sometimes when you say mentor, it makes you sound really old. But no, I definitely look forward to just, putting my arm around guys and just getting to work. I think the best way to, really connect with guys is just to do your process with them. You know what I mean? It's getting in the weight room, it's getting on the court, it's, the cold tubs, the bus rides, the plane rides, all those type of things. You got to get to know guys on a personal level, you know what I mean, before you kind of get into the nitty gritty of the basketball. So that's the part I'm most excited about. Just connecting with guys, seeing where everyone's at and just getting to know them that way.
It's nice that these vets that they brought in understand what their role on this team is going to be, not just as players, but also in the locker room, just helping to bring this team together, because there have kind of been a lack of leadership outside of Greg Popovich in that locker room. You've had Keldon Johnson for a long period of time. Pop took him to USA Basketball to help him kind of understand what it meant to be around stars and leaders around the NBA, but nobody's actually been in that situation in this locker room, and it's nice to have an adult in the room, if you will, for lack of a better term. And there is a process, and I know process is a bad word amongst a fans, but Harrison Barnes knows that there aren't a lot of shortcuts when it comes to success and experience.
Yeah, I think it starts with the commitment, knowing that obviously things are going to happen overnight, but I think also it's that shared experience. I've said it before in years past, but you just can't fast track experience. There's just certain things you have to go through as a group. And I think you look at every team that's in the playoffs that's had success. Look at this franchise that's had success. There is a shared experience that happens year after year after year that allows guys to build and grow. So obviously that process was started before I got here, but I'm definitely excited to just be in that mix, just continue to help guys grow and win basketball games.
I'll tell you what, the entirety of Harrison Barnes' interview was fantastic. And the more that I've heard from him, the more and more I am liking him. I liked the initial trade and getting him in return, and just the type of player he is, a nearly 40% three-point shooter, a really good defender, and championship medal, if you will, from his time when he was in Golden State. But even more than that, the guy himself just sounds phenomenal. And I think Spurs fans are really going to like what Harrison Barnes brings to this team as we move forward. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger, right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz will join me. We'll talk a little bit more about these additions, what it means, what will Chris Paul's number be, and why is it so secretive right now. That plus the latest on Dak and his contract and what it could potentially mean now that conversations are going both ways. That's coming up with Joe Reinagle of The Blitz here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the first annual Back to School Drive. Saturday, August 3rd from noon till 2 p.m. while supplies last at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-aged children. Only while supplies last, so don't be late. Saturday, August 3rd from noon to 2 p.m. at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by Las Palapas, ProStar Home Care Services, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
My neighbor across the street, his mother died. I paid cash for the car, and he gave me a title with his mother's name on it, and they won't let it get registered.
Yeah, y'all should have just forged it. Now you need to get him to apply for a new title and forge the dead mother's name. And she's damn sure not going to sue because she's dead.
This is not endorsed by GiveMeTheVin.com.
Not at all.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Every Saturday morning. Check out the YouTube channel, complete with live video stream at jcwshow.com.
This is a consumer alert to all U.S. taxpayers who owe the IRS back taxes or have unfiled tax returns. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, you can now take advantage of active programs that provide relief to struggling taxpayers and may reduce or eliminate what you owe if you qualify. Even if you are facing liens, levies, audits, wage garnishment, or already in a payment plan, call the Easy Tax Relief Helpline now to check what savings you may qualify for at 800-505-4169. You may qualify to reduce up to 99% of what you owe or for other special programs. Once qualified and enrolled, you can rest assured that your assets are protected and all collection efforts will be stopped. Billions of dollars in savings are available through these relief programs for struggling taxpayers, but you must call to see if you qualify. To see what savings you qualify for, call 800-505-4169. 800-505-4169. That's 800-505-4169.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit ConsumerCellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st. Fees and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hi, everyone. Broadcaster and ER physician Dr. Jerry Punch here. We all know about the speed of sound, but have you ever thought about the sounds of speeding? If you drive over the speed limit, there are lots of sounds that you might hear. You could hear the sound of your vehicle crashing, the sound of first responders desperately trying to save you. You could even hear the sound of people crying at a funeral. Because if you drive over the speed limit, you could do damage that's beyond repair. One way or another, speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Have you ever lifted a piece of furniture only to discover the carpet underneath looks brand new while the rest of it looks, well, not brand new? That's when you realize you need new carpet. At the Home Depot, we have a wide selection of all the top brands. Best of all, installation is included. So all you need to do is choose something that matches your style. Start your carpet project today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Installation included qualifying purchases. Exclusions apply. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, and on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. You can comment along. You can call into the show, 210-656-3776 if you want to be a part of it. But right now, joining me on the Buyers Barricades guest line is Joe Reinagle of The Blitz. You can catch him and Jason Minix every single weekday from 2 to 6 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. And I just got done talking about and professing my love for Stephon Castle and what I saw, granted, against a weak team in the Chinese national team that was at the NBA Sacramento, California League. But even in the blowout loss in game one, the more I watch of Stephon Castle, and I saw a lot of them at UConn, but he has traits that travel in terms of hustle and effort. And I said earlier that he gives me Manu vibes, and he's going to bring it every time he's on the court.
There's no doubt. And when you and I were singing this guy's praises, before the draft, and I was thrilled when the Spurs took him with that 4th pick. I think he's going to develop and be a star. How long that will take remains to be seen. But he's got the things that he can do already, just playing defense and the hustle that he brings and all of that kind of stuff. You really can't teach. And he's just going to get better and better. But I love the fact that he's a San Antonio Spur now. And, I think he's got a bright future. There's no question.
They always say but there's one thing you can always bring, and that's intensity. You control that.
Well, yeah, no doubt. And, on this team with Wemby and as we move forward, depending on how it looks in the years to come, he may not have to score that much. This guy just be a facilitator, play defense. When you got a guy like Wembanyama, it makes a lot of players' positions a little bit easier than they would be normally. So he'll adjust and he'll get his thing down, and I'm sure that shot will come around in the next couple of years.
Is there things that you may be looking for in particular out of guys like Castle or maybe even Harrison when it comes to when they take the court in Vegas?
Harrison is a guy that I really didn't know a lot about. So it's kind of cool seeing him and watching him play. And the Spurs may have found something. They really might have found something in this guy, kind of a steal, which they have been known to do. You mentioned Manu Ginobili, in the second round of the draft. So I'm anxious to see him play. I want to see him play more and get to know him a little bit better. But as far as Castle goes, I want to see him play against players of his like talent. And we'll see that, right, in the summer league. That's what you see. And then I want to see how that will translate depending on the minutes he gets. And quite frankly, I'm not sure what his usage will be early in the season. I don't know how Pop will use this guy early in the season. But that's where the test comes. And look, we saw it with Wemby. Wemby, it takes a minute. I don't care how good your college team was. I don't care it's college, and there's a huge difference. And it's going to take Castle a minute or two to get used to that game, get used to the speed of the game, and all of those kind of things. So it's going to be interesting to see how Pop uses him early on. But he's a guy that I'm thrilled that they drafted. I'm absolutely thrilled. I think for the Spurs, he fits perfectly. He's a future piece, and I can't wait to see how he improves and how quickly it takes him.
Joe Reinigal of the Blitz joining me on the Buyers Barricades guest line, and you talk about the Spurs. The biggest thing that has come out of everything was we got to see Chris Paul, we got to see Harrison Barnes, and what I've heard from both of them, I've loved. Their time at the podium the other day was fantastic, but the one thing that persists is Jersey Gate or 3 Gate or whatever you want to call it. But Chris Paul, usually you get a jersey. Harrison Barnes got photoshopped into a jersey and had his number 40. Chris Paul is holding a basketball that obstructs whatever number may be there. And it wasn't asked at the press conference. And the more this jersey thing lingers on, the more in my head I'm wondering, is there something in the background working that may involve a Keldon Johnson not being in San Antonio anymore?
That there's all kinds of theories, right? That's certainly one that you look at. There's no doubt. Look, Chris Paul has got to be number 3, whether Keldon Johnson's on the team or not. In my mind, he has to be. That's his whole shtick. I mean, he's CP3. He's known as that. He's always been that. So I think he's got to be that, whether Keldon's there or not. But what you just said holds a lot of water. And maybe, just maybe, there is something else in the works that involves a Keldon Johnson, who I was in love with when the Spurs drafted him. But I just don't know if we've seen the best of Keldon Johnson. And I think right now he's their most tradable piece that the Spurs would be willing to part with. And so if there is something else in the works, and that's the reason, or if he's just having a nice negotiation with Chris Paul at this moment in time as to what Chris will give him or how he's going to swipe that number. But I think when push comes to shove, Chris Paul is going to be wearing number 3 for the Spurs.
He is Joe Reinigal. Other big news, a lot was made of Dak Prescott in a boot, and more so than anything, I think that was a lot of nothing. But what did come out of conversations with Dak recently is that he and the Joneses are having conversations. And Ian Rappaport on the NFL Network discussed the fact that maybe there is a potential for a shorter term deal. And this is something that I know I've advocated for a long time. I know a lot of people don't want to pay the cost of a Dak Prescott and would rather rip the suck and be done with it. But having a bridge or a succession plan in place, I've always thought was the best potential outcome. And the way to do that is to get a deal done with Dak Prescott to lower that $60 million cap hit of his. But at the same time, by lowering that initial cap hit, by spreading out a signing bonus, you're now able to start working on other deals like CeeDee Lamb, to where you don't have to worry about him holding out of training camp in Oxnard and maybe potentially into the season.
Absolutely. Look, they got to do something with Dak. And again, I've been saying this, and I still believe it's true. Dak, I think, is calling the shots here. I think maybe he's had an offer. I think the Cowboys have offered him something. Now, maybe it's not what he wants or the term that he wants or whatever the case may be. But Dak Prescott, I've never seen another NFL player have the leverage that Dak Prescott has right now with the Dallas Cowboys. He has got everything on his side, and Jerry can really do nothing, whether he wants to sign him or not. And I think ultimately he does, because of what you just said. They need some sort of a plan in place. And to me, that's been the biggest dereliction of duty on the Cowboys' part, is not having somebody that's there that is a quarterback of the future. I mean, just look at the Packers, who drafted Jordan Love and pissed off Aaron Rodgers, severely. But look, they're earning the dividends of that right now. So I think you have to sign Dak. As much as I'm against paying that man $60 million, I get it, but I think you have to do it and bite the bullet. But I think it's better for both sides if it is a shorter deal. And I was happy to hear that from Rappaport today. I think it benefits the Cowboys. I think it benefits Prescott. But either way, I think this is the last contract for Dak Prescott in Dallas. If he chooses to play football after this contract is up, it's going to be on a different team. I just don't see the Cowboys and Prescott having him retiring as a Dallas Cowboy down the road. And I think the Cowboys have learned their lesson. If Trey Lance is not the guy, and they're going to do everything in their power to try and make him the guy as much as they possibly can, you'll see them draft a quarterback next year. I don't think there's any question about it, just to try and get a succession plan going for when Dak does eventually leave this team.
And this next draft is going to be loaded with some good quarterbacks, whether it's Carson Beck or Shedeur Sanders or Quinn Ewers. There's going to be a lot of names in this upcoming draft that you can potentially groom for a couple of years behind a Dak Prescott until they're ready to take over. But you talked about you've never seen somebody have the leverage in a negotiation the way that Dak Prescott has. I would argue I've seen it with the same guy before, and he won. And as great as Jerry is with valuation of the team, and even I will give them the flowers on drafting and what they've done there with the players that they bought in, whether it's Dak or Micah or Zeke or Zach Martin or Tyler Smith, who name player, they have drafted extremely well. When it comes to contract negotiations, Jerry is putting himself in these positions, and it's something that he could easily get ahead of, but chooses not to for whatever reason. And I think that's a big fault, but I also think it kind of works in his favor because, look, in an offseason where they have done absolutely nothing, what is everybody talking about? The Dallas Cowboys.
But yeah, it's what everybody always talks about, regardless. So with the whole boot thing that you talked about earlier, I mean, it's Dallas, it's Dak Prescott. He's got a boot. Oh my goodness, the sky is falling. But that's just the way that's just the way that it is when it comes to the Cowboys. And Jerry Jones deserves a lot of credit for that. But you're absolutely right. When it comes to negotiations, this man is not very good, and apparently his son's not very good at it either. As they continue on the tradition there. But to give Dak the contract that they gave him, and that was after a couple of franchise tags, so they finally give it to him. Dak bet, he won big, but he's got to have the leverage that he has with a no trade clause. You can't tag him anymore, and you haven't signed, so that number just continues to go up and up and up. It's going to be interesting to see where this all goes. But I still contend that, you know what, Dak Prescott, when push comes to shove, might just be a little tired of the circus. Mm-hmm. And maybe he's looking at that free agent market, knowing he's going to get paid either way, and saying, maybe life would be better in New Orleans, or life would be better in Las Vegas, or name a team. I think if he's not thinking, it's been in his head. I guarantee he's talked to his girlfriend about it a million times, and his friends. And so I just think that a lot of this may not all be just Jerry Jones. A lot of it may be Dak Prescott just having some second thoughts and kind of dreaming about what life might be like somewhere else.
Well, you can potentially ask him that yourself here in about 20 days when y'all go wheels up to Oxnard, California for AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage live from those beautiful tennis courts in the beautifully temperature-controlled Oxnard, California.
No doubt, Pledge, and I'm looking forward to doing that.
Just bring me back from some sand from the beach or something.
You got it, brother. You'll get a souvenir of some sort.
That is Joe Ryan. Go catch him and Jason Minix every weekday from 2 to 6 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Joe, appreciate the time today.
Anytime, Pledge.
That is Joe Reinagle joining me via the Buyers Barricades guest line. You can catch all of our guests via the Buyers Barricades guest line. They provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. They're online at buyersbarricades.com. More with the Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans, as there could be a potential for the Texans to at least maybe even play a preseason game in San Antonio. We'll discuss next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star.
The fight for justice never ends. In Texas, there's only one name you need to know. Thomas J. Henry Law. We're one of the biggest personal injury firms in Texas with the money to fight for you. We invest in expert witnesses, investigators, and cutting-edge technology because the best evidence wins cases. And you only pay if we win. No upfront fees, no hidden costs. We give back to the communities we serve, from school supplies for tens of thousands of kids to food for families and pets. Thomas J. Henry. Visit us online at tjhlaw.com. San Antonio.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Joel, I'm proud to introduce my latest in-summer relaxation relief-acation. I call it the Quarter Moon Grill and Go. It's a stainless steel propane gas grill with this, a full-size urinal. If you're gonna grill and you gotta go, it's the Grill and Go.
Folks at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, we fix plumbing and AC issues fast and at a fair price. 210-651-5899.
Grill and
go away, Nigel. Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC.
License number TACLA 88589E M16004.
Looking for a way to elevate your engine's performance? Start with Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. It provides faster oil flow for hot and cold temperature protection in the harshest driving conditions. Regular use can help your engine run cleaner and longer by defending against sludge and buildup, improving overall engine performance and fuel efficiency while increasing the time between oil changes. Make the switch without slowing down. Speed your ride Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
The light is fading, your hands are sore, and the last tool has been put away. Now is the time to feel the satisfaction that comes with a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job feels a little different. Your wallet. Because we believe that everyone deserves hardworking tools at hardworking prices. And that's what we have here. So, whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
You know, living here in San Antonio and South Texas, a water softener is almost a requirement. The water is hard. You know this. It affects your appliances and all of that kind of stuff. And the best water softener to buy is a Connecticut quality water softener. Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. They're made in America, up to 8 models, got a simple design, fewer moving parts, and the best thing about it is there's nothing to plug in. There won't be an increase in your electric bill. Connecticut quality water softeners are the best in the business, and right now they have got the best deal for you. Connecticut is going to let you try a quality water softener in your home for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Call them today. 656-PURE. That's 656-7873 or ConnecticutSA.com. You know the jingle. Sing it with me. Connecticut, the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Connecticut.
When you ask people here, what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler? For some, it's the unbeatable pricing we get through our direct importer. No middleman connections. The foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's the uncompromising quality. From hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings. Only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness, and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees that include free service for life and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing, it's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Before you fire up that grill, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market has everything you need. If you're thinking steaks, you want some chicken, some poppers, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, picanha, tri-tip. They've got it all at Tri-County Meat Market. Take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25, and Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heebner, or online at tricountymeat.com. It's Jason and Joe from The Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com.
This is Andrew Monaco, and the Aggies play here. 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
Never leaving on a high note. All day, going up and down so constantly.
Welcome back into Extra Inch with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. Thanks for joining me this evening as we take you up to 7 o'clock, and then we got Rangers baseball as they continue their series with the Angels. Pregame starts at 8. We were talking about Dak Prescott with Joe Reigel just a few minutes ago, and I told you that, there was the potential of some news from Ian Rappaport about a shorter deal. Well, I'll let Ian tell you himself.
Dak Prescott heading into the final year of his contract with the kind of leverage that we have rarely seen a quarterback have. The Cowboys cannot trade him. They cannot franchise him. If they don't do a deal with him, he is going to be a free agent. And then, will he sign with the Cowboys after they let him be a free agent? I guess anything's possible, but certainly hard to imagine there. So it is on the Dallas Cowboys right now. If they are going to do this, if they're going to avoid Dak Prescott going into the final year of his deal, like Mike McCarthy is, it is time for them to start talking and try to get a new contract done. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe it was a little bit of a shorter deal. I know the fact that people have mentioned the number 60, as in $60 million per year, the fact that that's not crazy, just based on where he is, what the numbers have been, the kind of leverage he has, this could be the kind of contract we're talking about. But the clock is ticking, of course, to training camp.
Now, we know that 60 has been a number that has been thrown around. And to be honest, the only way I think it gets to 60 is if he does hit free agency. That would be the way it gets to 60. Otherwise, I think 56, 57, make him the highest paid quarterback over 2 to 3 years. Make it an extension. That way you've got your plan in place for when this next quarterback class comes around. You can draft one. You can develop him behind Dak Prescott and, like Jordan Love, have him take over when it's done. And if he's ready beforehand, you now have a quarterback at the time be the highest paid, but likely by the time you decide to move on from him, that contract will have de-escalated from that and will look even more appeasing because there are teams around the NFL that are going to want him, whether it's the Las Vegas Raiders, whether it's the New York Giants. You can kind of control where he goes if things don't work out in Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy. There are a lot of teams, New Orleans Saints, that could potentially want a Dak Prescott on their team if things don't work out for them in the draft the way they see moving forward, or in New Orleans' case, they stay around the middle and they're still stuck with a David Carr. Maybe a Ewers is ready to go in 2 years and you can trade him and then you get assets for him. It is just the best way to do business if that is the case. Now down in Houston, there are 3 panels missing off the top of NRG Stadium after the effects of Hurricane Beryl. I expect those to be fixed before the start of the regular season on September the 15th when they play their first game on Sunday Night Football against the Chicago Bears. If it's not fixed before their first preseason game on August the 15th or 17th at NRG Stadium against the New York Giants, could there be a potential for them just playing with the roof open? Yes, that could be a potential for them in that preseason, but there's also the potential that they could come to San Antonio. Fred Record says CD been grinding his butt off this off season, right? He's been working with Dak. Now, the biggest thing about the Houston Texans that had a very tremendous offseason is their wide receiver core, extending Nico Collins, having Tank Dell back, healthy, ready to go after a very impressive rookie season was cut short due to injury, and adding a Stephon Diggs from Buffalo, and you've got a triplet of receivers plus Dalton Schultz, adding a Joe Mixon. Like, these were moves, Danielle Hunter, Danico Autry, both sides of the ball. They have shored up perceived weaknesses on that team as they gear up for what could potentially be a very difficult schedule this upcoming season. The one question has been, Stephon Diggs has kind of been, quote unquote, a diva everywhere he's been. Well, on the locker room with Landry Locker down in Houston, he was talking with one of Diggs' former teammates and a former Cowboy by that fact, Cole Beasley, about the perception or the notion that Stephon Diggs is a diva.
A diva is like someone who's like scared to get their hands dirty. You know what I mean? And Steph is one of the hardest working players that I've played with, you know. And there's been a lot of guys that I've played with that, you know, don't want to practice, that they got an injury that's kind of nagging them. They're like, I can't do it today. He's not one of those guys, you know. He'll fight through everything. And when he touches that field, dude, it's whether it's a practice or a game, he's the same guy. And he's one of the hardest practice players I've ever seen. That's pretty good coming from a guy that's like establishes him and knows he's going to get his targets no matter what.
Coming from a former teammate in that same wide receiver room, a guy that is also trying to vie for targets, working out the slot there, is very complimentary of Stephon Diggs' work ethic. And ever since he's left, Josh Allen has also been very complimentary of a Stephon Diggs. I think the media may have blown some of the things that happen on the sideline in the heat of battle out of proportion, the same way like CeeDee Lamb blowing up on the sideline during the San Francisco 49ers game. Guess what? He got the ball more. The Cowboys offense started rolling from that point on. Sometimes it's as simple as get your best players the ball when the offense is struggling. Now, there's a lot made about CJ Stroud and whether, you know, it's going to be more difficult for him his second year. There's tape on him, et cetera, and whether teams may be implementing different defenses this year. And Mina Kimes of NFL Live on ESPN talked about Stroud possibly facing more of a certain defense in line with one Patrick Mahomes and what he went through.
Me thinking about Mahomes' own journey after lighting the league on fire his first year. The next couple of years, defenses started playing him with that too high shell coverage, and he grew so much as a quarterback, working underneath, being patient, lowering his average depth of target. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar with Stroud, especially with this receiver corps that, of course, now has Stephon Diggs as well. Teams are going to play them that way. Now, I want to note, when Stroud faced too high last year, he was 8th in QBR, neck and neck with Lamar Jackson, so he's already very good at it. But I expect him to face it even more this season, and he's going to have to show the patience that we saw from Patrick Mahomes after his first year as a starter.
Could he be facing more cover two? Quite potentially, but like Mina Kimes said, the addition of a Joe Mixon, like these are moves that Bobby Slowick, the Houston Texans, D'Amico Ryans, Nick Caserio made with the knowledge that teams were going to try and take things away from CJ Stroud to make his job more difficult. So they got him more weapons to spread it around to in an attempt to negate people trying to play open coverages against them. It's going to be very, very exciting to see what Bobby Slowick and that Texans offense has up their sleeve this upcoming season. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger here on San Antonio Sports Star. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, everything at I am Pledger. When we come back, he's in the game. I'll explain when we come back right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the first annual Back to School Drive. Saturday, August 3rd from noon till 2 p.m. while supplies last at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-aged children. Only while supplies last, so don't be late. Saturday, August 3rd from noon to 2 p.m. at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by Las Palapas, ProStar Home Care Services, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-579-6610. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-579-6610 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
O'Reilly. Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
We're here with Jose Rios, attorney at the Gomez Law Firm. If you are injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, Jose, what's the first thing our listeners should do?
The first thing they should do is pick up the phone, call the Gomez Law Firm, or Google joegomezlaw.com.
Gomez Law has been protecting the people of our community for almost 50 years. They're the leader in personal injury law.
We do ride-sharing cases. We do carbon monoxide cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries.
But that's not all your firm does, Jose. Tell us a little more about other cases Gomez Law takes on and wins here in Texas.
Really, anything that involves a personal injury and a third party that is responsible for causing that injury, we will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you are hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give MVP's Pro Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not an MVP's Pro Rewards member? Join today. Visit Lowe's.com/Messi for more details.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Be sure to check out Rob and AJ every single weekday morning from 6 to 10 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. They will lead you into Greeny. They'll take you to Jim Rome at noon. The Blitz. And then we'll finish up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Look, I was already pumped about this game making its comeback after its time off. And I'll admit I was a little disappointed when I heard that Arch Manning was not going to be a part of this game. He was not accepting the licensing agreement. It's not what it was going to happen. But then we got this nice little promo trailer that dropped on Twitter right before the game releases.
All right, here we go. Let's go Gun Far, Simon Right Nasty, Z Riz, F Whirly Bird, Alert Scarecrow. All right, use a little cadence here. All right, you ready?
Are you sure about this?
Absolutely. I mean, this is the best way to focus on football, all right? So get your eyes on the safety. Be vocal out there.
Yes, Coach. I mean, Uncle E.
It's better.
Green 18. Green 18. Omaha. Hut.
All right, there he is. There he is. Now. Boom. Touchdown. Now that's why you're in the game.
EA Sports. I'm in the game.
Arch Manning.
Woo. You know, we could have just run 4 verts.
Arch Manning with Uncle Eli on the teaser for the new EA College Football 25 coming out very, very soon. And I know a bunch of Longhorn fans cannot wait to get their hands on that game and bench Quinn Ewers to start Arch Manning. And unfortunately, I love Quinn Ewers. I love what he's doing. I also am looking forward to benching him to put Arch Manning in the game as fast as possible because it's not real. Best chance to win this year is Quinn Ewers. With a video game, I can control things. So let's go win a title, Arch. Madden College Football 25 coming out real soon here on all your major platforms. And I can't wait to be back in the game. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. We'll see you tomorrow. Remember, coming up at 8 o'clock, we got on your home for the Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I always do my best to prep for summer, but sometimes things just come up. And when they do, Kohl's and their great prices are always there for me. I just shopped their summer cyber sale and saved big on everything I was missing, like summer must-haves under $15, floor care essentials for 50% off, and kitchen appliances for 30% off. Plus, I earned Kohl's cash. So no matter what happens the rest of the summer, I'll be ready. Thanks to Kohl's. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy happiness. But money did buy your boat, where you find peace fishing. Unlike at home with 3 teenage daughters,